Executive Secretary sa kanyang pagpakilala, Secretary Luke Bersamin, at ang kalihim ng Department of Labor and Employment, ang ating Secretary Bienvenido Laguesma. Andito rin po ang ating Speaker of the House of Representatives, Speaker Martin Romualdez, at ang nagbahagi sa atin ng commemorative stamp, ang Postmaster General and CEO of the Philippine Postal Corporation, Luis Carlos, ang naging awardee of ng mga outstanding workers of the Republic. Congratulations at binabati ko po kayo. My fellow workers in government, ang ating mga kasama at kabalikat sa private sector, ating mga bisita, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. Isang maligayang pagbati sa mga kapwa kong manggagawang Pilipino ngayong araw ng manggagawa. Ikinararangal ko na buksan ang bakuran ng Malacanang sa mga natatanging panauhing kumakatawan sa sektor ng manggagawa, kasama ang mga opisyal ng pamahalaan at mga development partners natin sa pangunguna ng International Labor Organization. Taus-puso ang aking pagkakaisa sa pagkikilala sa kontribusyon ng ating mga manggagawa. Hindi lamang sa pagpapanatili ng pagkakaisa at magandang samahan sa industriya, kung hindi rin, pati rin sa pagpapaunlad ng ating ekonomiya. Exactly 50 years ago, on these very same grounds, my father, then President Ferdinand Marcos Sr., signed the Labor Code of the Philippines in the presence of representatives of various sectors. The Labor Code, born out of the vision for development, employment, and social justice, has been one of the most enduring pieces of social legislation in the country. In his own words, I quote, I remember them vividly, growth will always be tempered by justice, and development will always be weighed by the dignity of man. Leading the celebration of its golden anniversary, the 122nd Labor Day, I proudly reaffirm the government's commitment to champion the rights of Filipino workers in pursuit of development and prosperity. Today, we stand in awe of the remarkable contributions of Filipino workers here in the country and also abroad. I offer them our gratitude and recognition as beacons of hope, as important pillars of our country's foundation. It has been their dedication and tireless pursuit of a better life for their loved ones which fuel the engine of progress in our nation. Gamit ang Philippine Development Plan bilang gabay, nagsusumikap ang pamahalaan upang mapabuti ang kalagayan ng mga manggagawa. Mapatatag ang ekonomiya, lumikha ang mga karagdagang trabaho at masugpo ang kahirapan sa bansa. My fellow workers, we aim not just for job growth, but for quality and green jobs that are aligned with our vision for a sustainable human capital-centered economy. The Labor and Employment Plan for 2023 to 2028, which I approved last August, supports these goals through strategies that achieve decent work for all and inclusive social protection. Last September, I also signed the Trabajo para sa Bayan Act to bolster our jobs creation efforts, which help address various challenges like jobs, skills, mismatch, underemployment, and youth employment. In addition, we shall also continue to invest in upskilling and reskilling our workers in partnership with the private sector. I have directed DOLE to prioritize addressing underemployment by promoting training in skills that the local and international labor markets need and ensure that there is placement for those who are going to be trained. Through the TESDA, more than 2 million Filipinos have graduated from technical and vocational training courses, and over 1 million have been certified since we came into office. We are very serious about enhancing the skills of all Filipino workers, marking them job-ready for the technical and digital jobs that will be opened through the investments that we have secured. In 2023 alone, our investment promotion agencies approved almost 1.7 trillion pesos in investments in various sectors. These investments are expected to create almost 108,000 jobs for our people in that year alone. Kasama po dito ang mga investors na nahikayat natin sa mga pagpupulong sa ibang bansa. Sa ngayon, 8 proyekto ang umaarangkada ang negosyo dito sa Pilipinas. Mayroon din 21 na negosyanteng nahikayat natin na ngayon ay nagpaparehistro na para makapagsimula ng pamumunuhan niya sa bansa. Sila ay kabilang sa halos 200 na proyekto na kasalukuyang inaabangan ng DTI na nakakahalaga 4 na trilyong piso. Ang ating Build Better More Infrastructure Program ay inaasahan din na magpapaigting at pag-angat sa ekonomiya. Kasunod dito ang pag-angat sa kalidad at kakayahan ng ating mga manggagawa. In this administration, we continue to prioritize the protection of our workers, guided by international labor standards as found in the International Labor Organization Convention. This is why in February of 2024, the Philippines deposited the Instrument of Ratification of the Violence and Harassment Convention number 190 with the ILO. And the Philippines became the 38th country in the world and the first in Asia to ratify Convention number 190. This affirms the fundamental right of individuals to a workplace that is free from violence and harassment. Dagdag pa rito, noong nakaraang taon, ating linagdaan ang Executive Order number 23 upang pagtibayin ang karapatan ng mga manggagawa na mag-organisa. Itong nakaraang Biyernes ay naaprubahan na ang joint guidelines upang maitupad ito na maayos. Sa ating mga overseas Filipino workers, alam ko po na daman-daman ninyo ang pagkalingan ng Department of Migrant Workers sa ilalim na mapayapang Secretary Tuts Ople at ng bagong kalihim na si Hans Kakdak. Without a doubt, OFWs have had a significant role in our nation's prosperity. It exemplifies the best of what the Philippines can offer the world. We continue to assure our OFWs that within our bagong Pilipinas, this administration will never cease to provide protection, growth, and development for themselves and for their families. So on this Labor Day, I task the DMW with these simple but crucial objectives. First, strengthen protection of OFWs by making sure that government will be there during their hour of need. Towards this end, let us continue to mobilize the 2.8 billion peso Action Fund and provide protection for distressed OFWs to attain justice and be safe from harm during global crises and emergencies. Let us also likewise provide forms of assistance to OFWs requiring welfare, repatriation, and reintegration services. Second, let us strengthen our efforts on labor diplomacy at the bilateral and multilateral levels and realize our shared responsibility with host countries to ensure safe and ethical recruitment processes and just and humane conditions for our OFW. Third, let us empower our OFWs as our partners in nation building. Hence, I have directed the DMW, the DOLE, and all other government agencies to strengthen program coordination and development for the reintegration of returning OFWs. Para naman sa mga contract of service at job order personnel ng pamahalaan, marahil narinig na ninyo pero uulitin ko po, tayo ay nagdesisyon na ipagpatuloy ang inyong serbisyo hanggang sa 2025.